In the heart of ancient Kyoto, people often whispered about the spirit that haunted the Higashiyama district. The tale of Yukiko, a mesmerizing courtesan whose beauty was as striking as a crescent moon, lived on through the years, carried by the winds and hushed voices of those who feared the unseen. In the dim-lit rooms of the tea house Hanatsubaki, Yukiko's laughter once echoed like a silken melody. Her kimono, embroidered with delicate cherry blossoms, shimmered under the flicker of paper lanterns, drawing in foreign traders who were captivated by her grace and allure. Murmurs of her charms reached the ears of Charles Beckett, an English merchant whose greed knew no bounds. One languid summer night, the air thick with jasmine, Charles found himself seated across from Yukiko, his eyes lingering on every move she made. "Your fame precedes you, Yukiko," Charles spoke, trying to maintain his composure, but his voice betrayed the lust he could barely contain. Yukiko smiled demurely, her fingers tracing the rim of her sake cup. "And what is it you seek from me, Charles-san?" Charles leaned in, the scent of foreign spices clinging to his robes. "A night with you, in exchange for wealth beyond your dreams." Yukiko's fan fluttered as she concealed a smile. "Wealth is fleeting. I desire something more, lasting." Intrigued and bewitched, Charles agreed to her terms, though he never guessed what it would truly cost him. That night, the air between them crackled with unspoken promises and forbidden desires. The room filled with their passion, the barriers of language and culture dissolving under the weight of their entwined bodies. But as the night deepened, so did Charles's desire to possess Yukiko entirely. "Leave with me," he urged as dawn approached, his eyes dark and insistent. "Come to England. Be mine." Yukiko's expression turned to cold steel, and her voice dropped to a whisper. "I cannot abandon my home or my honor." Charles, driven mad by her rejection, revealed his true face, one of a man used to getting what he wanted by any means. With a swift, violent motion, he struck Yukiko, his rage unrestrained. The world spun as Yukiko fell, her head striking the edge of a lacquered chest. Darkness engulfed her, and the room fell silent. Guilt, fear, and opportunity brewed in Charles's mind. He and his companions buried Yukiko's body beneath the floorboards of the tea house and fled before dawn, leaving behind only the faint scent of their betrayal. Days turned to months, and the tea house fell into disrepair as rumors of a haunting spread. Those who dared enter spoke of a cold presence, a soft weeping that echoed through the night. But it was the men like Charles who faced the true wrath of Yukiko's spirit. Years later, Charles returned to Kyoto under the facade of a respected trader, but his sleep was plagued by nightmares of a woman with dark, vengeful eyes. One evening, he found himself lured back to the abandoned tea house, a mysterious compulsion driving him inside. The once luxurious room now stood cloaked in decay, tatami mats rotted and walls warped. "Yukiko?" Charles's voice trembled as it echoed. His words seemed to dissipate into the void. From the shadows, a figure emerged. Yukiko, her beauty unchanged, but her eyes burning with otherworldly fury. "You took everything from me, Charles." Her voice, a haunting melody, sent shivers down his spine. Charles stumbled backward, his heart pounding. I was wrong. Forgive me." "Forgive?" Yukiko's laugh was chilling, devoid of the warmth it once held. "No, Charles, there will be no forgiveness, only justice." The air grew colder, the lanterns flickering out one by one. Charles felt invisible hands grip him, pulling him towards the center of the room, where the floorboards began to creak and groan. Beneath, the earth opened, the forgotten grave of Yukiko revealed. "No, please!" Charles's screams echoed as he was dragged towards Yukiko's final resting place. As the darkness swallowed him, his consciousness remained, suspended in tormented clarity. The walls of the tea house began to shift impossibly, the floor distorting until he recognized the layout, an exact replica of his own home in England. Yukiko's revenge was complete, trapping his spirit in a relentless hellscape that mirrored his own life, filled with the endless torment of his guilt and fear. But the twisted fate did not end with Charles alone. Those who visited the new merchant's house in England would hear whispers in foreign tongues, see fleeting glimpses of a shadowy figure in a kimono, and feel an icy breath on their neck, a reminder that Yukiko's rage would never rest. The legend of Yukiko spread across lands and oceans, a caution for those who dared to think they could escape the sins of their past. In the end, it wasn't merely death that Yukiko had inflicted, but an eternity of unending dread that rippled across cultures, her spirit a relentless reminder that some stories never truly end.